Disclaimer. I doesn't claim any of the arts. All the picture shown belongs to the respective artist and company. If you are original owner and want me to remove the video, I will do it immediately. Just send me an email to inform me. And if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel. At the beginning of the episode, we see Kim unconscious on the ground in middle of nowhere. Suddenly, a familiar voice calls Kim by his name. By hearing it, Kim barely opens his eyes. Kim sees Paul Becker in front of him saying that, "Are you awake now?" Kim was out of castle in front of a portal. He is surprised that, how did he get here? By seeing that Kim regained his consciousness, Paul is happy and says, "I'm glad you're safe." Kim looks around and sees that he somehow got out of the castle. He asks Paul, "Where am I?" And Paul responds to Kim that, "This is the player zone. I found you unconscious here while on patrol. Did something happen to you?" While Kim was rubbing his eyes, thinks with himself that, did Rosaria send me here? In order for Kim to be reassured about the matter, checks his status and sees that now he has the Queen's Man with B rank with this skill. He now can use it to summon the succubus queen Rosaria. This skill will cost Kim 200 mana to use, and his charm status has increased to 130. By seeing it, Kim surprises and realizes that all of this wasn't a dream, and all those events really happened, and says with himself that the demonic contract skill changed to the summoning skill, the Queen's Man. I also have a new skill called Complete Hypnosis. If I summon Rosaria, I can even face opponents at the level of nation's entire force in the Asian exhibition games, and the use for the hypnosis skill she gave me is limitless. But deep down, Kim is worried about something and is not sure of its answer, and says to himself that, why did she suddenly change her mind, and what she said at the last moment? To find the answer to this question, Kim tries to recall his memories to find the answer he's looking for. Kim remembers his last memories with Rosaria when she bit Kim on the neck, made Kim to go sleep. He remembers that at the last moment Rosaria laughed and said to him that, "Sleep well, the king's chosen one." Kim remembers his lost memory, and by doing that, Kim's eyes gets widened and realizes that now Rosaria knows his secret. Above all, she knows about King. Paul Becker, after seeing that Kim was lost in his own thoughts, tries to gaining his attention by calling him. He calls Kim and says to him that, "What are you going to do now? Maybe you should hire a player to act as your guide." By hearing Paul's words, Kim smiles and responds to him that, "I appreciate the concern, but it's okay. I've finished my business here for now, so I should head home." Kim, after finishing his mission, leaves Abyss and goes to his town. At the next scene, we see the city where Kim lives in the daytime, and in some random place in that city, in hospital that Yu Ah-young was in it. We see Yu Ah-young finally recovers from his fight with Phoenix. She leaves the hospital while she wears his coat and she crosses the street. Someone out of nowhere says to her that, "Congratulations on your discharge, Guildmaster." Yu looks at his front to see the person that was talking to her. She sees that was one of her guild members. They came to accompany her. One of them that was in the front has a battle scar on his jaw and mouth, and while he was clapping says that, "Are you feeling better now?" That man is Vice Guild Master of the Nightwalkers, an A-rank player, and his name is Jung Han-soo. Yu Ah-young responds to him that, "Not only am I fine, but I've already beaten up a few people." By hearing Yu Ah-young responds, Jung laughs and says, "More importantly, I have some news that might interest you, Guildmaster." By hearing it, Yu Ah-young is wondering what this news could it be, and Jung says that Kim Tae-hyun has returned from the abyssal depths. By hearing that Kim has been returned from abyssal depths, Yu Ah-young gets shocked and says, "Well, maybe it's not that early. I suppose even Tae-hyun would have trouble exploring the depths alone." And Jung responds that it's called the grave of S-rankers for a reason, but his return isn't the issue here. The problem is who went to meet him. After hearing this news, Yu Ah-young is worried about who could be on the way to meet Kim Tae-hyun and asks Jung that, "What? Who went to meet him?" Jung heard Yu Ah-young's question, and while he smiles, says, "The leader of Undivided, one of the 4 great guilds, player Kwon Kang-yuk." At the next scene, we see a big man standing in front of Kim and looking at Kim seriously, and a woman is standing next to him. By seeing that man, Kim surprises and wonders that what possibly that man could want from me. Did I done something wrong to him? Suddenly that man breaks the silence within room, and while that he smiles with his sharp teeth, says, "Are you Kim Tae-hyun?" He releases his power and a red aura covers his body and with excitement says that, "Let's have a duel." That man is Guildmaster of Undivided, and he's a S-rank player, and his name is Kwon Kang-yuk. While that red aura covers his body, Kwon Kang-yuk walks towards Kim. By knowing him, Kim realizes that he is the leader of Undivided, one of the 4 great guilds and known as the best tank in New South Korea. There are many stories about him, including fighting monsters for dozens of hours and single-handedly defeating hundreds of monsters, but the most famous one of those is forceful recruitment by dueling the contestants. Kwon Kang-yuk takes a fighting stand to begin his duel with Kim, but suddenly the girl that were beside him, she rushes to him, hits Kwon Kang-yuk for his action, and says, "Where the hell do you think you're going?" Kwon Kang-yuk, that was not happy about what has she done, said to her, "Secretary Kim, what are you doing?" And that girl answered him angrily, "How much more of an earful do you want to hear from the Human Rights Committee now? Don't you realize you could be banned from the abyss for this? I'll have to make excuses for you again." That girl is secretary to Kwon Kang-yuk, a B-rank player, and her name is Kim Hyeon. Kim, that was in his fighting stand, watching all of this, made him a little confused and disappointed. Kim doesn't know what is going on right now. They totally forgotten that Kim was there. After they finished their discussion, she said to Kim that, "Hello, I'm Kim Hyeon, the secretary to the Guildmaster of Undivided. You might know our Guildmaster's reputation for non-humanitarian forceful recruitment, but we are here to officially scout you." This Kim Hyeon words makes Kwon Kang-yuk unhappy and says, "Secretary Kim, non-humanitarian, what are you talking about?" Kim Hyeon ignores him and continues her words and says to Kim Tae-hyun that if you express an intention to join us, there's no need for a duel. By hearing her words, Kim thinks and responds that, "Doesn't that just mean that if I don't join, you'll force me to?" Kim Hyeon hears Kim Tae-hyun's words and says to him, "That's true, but it's not a bad offer for you either. From what I know, you will be participating in the Asian Exhibition Games." By hearing it that she knows about this makes Kim Tae-hyun surprised, and he continues to hearing her words to see that what she has to offer him. She continues his words and says to Kim that our guild, Undivided, is the most specialized in abyss exploration among the 4 great guilds. We have extensive dungeon raid schedules and even provide full support for abyss exploration. If you join our guild, you'll definitely gain enough merit points to compensate for any points you lack. By hearing her offer, Kim Tae-hyun thinks about it for a moment and tries to find a way to benefit from it in his own way. Kwon Kang-yuk, by seeing it, laughs and says, "Enough, Secretary Kim. If he was one to be swayed by words, he would have joined long ago." But suddenly Kim Tae-hyun from other side of room says, "That's not true. I've changed my mind." By hearing it, Kwon Kang-yuk and Kim Hyeon, they both get surprised. They didn't think that could be possible. Kwon Kang-yuk doesn't know what is going on with Kim Tae-hyun, and Kim Hyeon is happy that Kim Tae-hyun changed his mind and thinks that he will go in their guild. Kwon Kang-yuk, with happy expression and a smile on his face, says, "So, are you saying you're joining Undivided?" But contrary to their expectations, Kim Tae-hyun responds that, "What nonsense is he spouting?" By hearing Kim Tae-hyun's words, Kwon Kang-yuk doesn't understand what is wrong with this boy. Kim Tae-hyun gets closer to Kwon Kang-yuk and while looks at him confidently says, "We're doing it your way. The winner gets what they want. Deal?" This makes Kwon Kang-yuk happy and furious at the same time. He has a menacing smile on his face, and now he have what he was wanted, a fight with Kim Tae-hyun. At the next scene, we see Undivided headquarters arena, all people gathered there to see that night's big event, a fight between Kim Tae-hyun and Kwon Kang-yuk. Kim was passing through the reporters. All of them were asking Kim different questions and wanted to have an interview with him, and they were asking him that, "We heard you were targeted for Undivided Guild's forced recruitment? Does that mean you're not connected with Yoo Young from Nightwalkers in any way? Why did you accept the duel with Kwon Kang-yuk? You're fighting the best tank in New South Korea. Do you have any chance of winning this duel?" All of this non-stop questioning made Kim bored and annoyed. Kim thought to himself that, "So damn annoying, just let me through." Should I just crush everyone here with the spirit skill? Suddenly, in the midst of it all, reporter Kim notices something familiar. He sees Kim Gija, a newly recruited reporter for Psy Economy. She was barely avoided being fired. She was there to get an interview with Kim Ta-hyun. Kim Ta-hyun grabs her hand, and among all of them, the reporter pulls her towards himself and says to her that, "It's been a while, Miss Kim Gia. We met during the player tryouts, right?" She is blushed and says, "Yes, it's been a while, Mr. Kim Tae-hyun." All of the reporters that were talking about her, and they were saying that, "Kim Gija, which media company is she from? Who is she? Acting like she knows player Kim Tae-hyun?" In that moment, she thinks with himself that, to think he would remember someone like me who just passed by him. I guess big shots like him are different after all. Kim releases her hand and says that, "Now any questions you have will be answered later through this reporter here. As you know, due to my plans with player Kwon Kang-yuk, I don't have time for a Q&A session." And by hearing it, she gets very happy and excited, doesn't believe that this is actually happening to her. Kim, by doing this, makes her center of attention for reporters and manages to make himself free from those. Now all of those reporters ask Kim Gija that, "Your name is Kim Gija, right? What is your relationship with player Kim Tae-hyun?" And by seeing all of it, Kim says, "Well then, I'll take my leave." Kim goes through the arena's room and enters to it, climbs the stairs and looks at his opponent and sees his Kwon Kang-yuk standing in front of him, ready for battle. Kwon Kang-yuk, while that his body is covered with red aura, laughs at Kim and says, "You're here. I was worried you might chicken out." By hearing it, Kim activates his stone skill, and by that all of his body is covered in his power's aura. And while he looks at Kwon Kang-yuk menacingly and says that, "Let's settle this then." And with that, this chapter ends. Thank you for watching this video until the end. Support this channel by liking this video and subscribing the channel. And if you want me to recap another manhwa or manga, write its name in the comments section. And if you want to know that what happened in previous chapters, you can watch them in this channel. Stay tuned for next chapters.